for a couple of weeks now. Seems like coaches are getting hired left and right. My guy Eric Bieniemy still out there just waiting on his opportunity. It's crazy if you ask me. But let's jump along the coaching carousel. And I got a question for everybody. What was the best and worst hire of the last week or so when it comes to these NFL coaches? T Boogie, I'm gonna start with you, sir.
I mean, I feel like the easy answer is Detroit, man. I don't know what professional wrestling league they got this guy out of, man. He's talking about fighting kneecaps and all sorts of nonsense, man. Bruh, the Lions, I don't get it. I don't get it. What's his name? Dan Campbell or something? I
Dan
don't
Campbell.
know. He's up there talking like Macho Man Randy Savage. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a terrible hire. It's a terrible hire. If you're a Detroit fan, not sure how you get excited about that. It's a good time to leave the organization. Football fans tend to think they got to stay with their team forever. Leave. No one would judge you. No one would judge you. And I think the best hire, is between Urban Meyer and Saylor. But the Jets, man, you got the 49ers defensive coordinator. This guy got it done with tons of injuries, the coronavirus, no Bosa. The 49ers have had a great defense the last 2 years, and from all accounts, players like them, coaches like them, fans like them. That's a great starting point, and you got a pick, and potentially you can get Deshaun Watson. So, I mean, it's a match made in heaven, man. So I like what the Jets did, and I hate what the Lions did.
Yeah, I feel that. I like what the Jets did too. I mean, they brought energy in with that hire, and I think you can tell from the press conference, man. Robert Saleh, he's not there to play. He's not there to play at all. He's dead serious about his profession, and you love to see that. Detroit's coach, on the other hand, it looked a little janky. Ron, we going to you, man. Best and worst coaching hires from the last week or so.
Hey man, for me, the best coach and hire was definitely Robert Saleh, like you guys just mentioned. I love the energy he brings, the attitude, the focus, the intensity, all that. That's what football should be about. But for me, this might be a little controversial, but the worst coach and hire is quite clearly Urban Meyer in Jacksonville. Like I think that is a joke. I think let me clarify. They're selling everybody a dream here. Like so I was supposed to believe that because homie was a good coach in college that he's supposed to just transcend to the NFL. How often does that happen? How many coaches have been successful in that way? Not very many. So I'm not as hype as everyone else is on this Urban Meyer hire, and not just because of the coach. I mean, Jacksonville is a franchise that has always been a bit of a failure. They might have a good year here or there, but they don't really do anything long term. And I don't see Urban Meyer all of a sudden turning Jacksonville into some force of a team. I could be wrong. It's one of those things where it's going to take probably a couple seasons to really say. But I think this was a hire where you sell something to the fans like something's going to turn around, and then in a couple years you'll be in the same spot.
You don't think he can make Trevor Lawrence work out? Because that's the pick.
He's
I
got
mean,
a number one pick.
this might be another controversial take, but I think he'll ruin Trevor Lawrence.
You think he'll take Trevor Lawrence though? I mean, he's got it's his pick. It's his choice quarterbacks.
That's the only reason he took the job. Only reason.
I know, and that's going to be, and it's going to be criticized every step of everything that they do. If he takes Trevor Lawrence, it's going to be a lot like Kingsbury and Kyler Murray. You know what I mean? They're tethered. So their success will be completely tethered. So if he has Trevor Lawrence and it doesn't look good after 2 seasons, this is a microwave society. Like how long is the road really going to be for Urban Meyer?
I mean, Urban Meyer brought in Darryl Bevell and the Ravens defensive line coach. I think he surrounded himself with NFL experience. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's true. He is surrounding himself with the right guys. But I think one point Rome is kind of making here is Urban Meyer used to building a program. And you don't get that time in the NFL to build a program. You know what you get time for? You get time to turn something around. And if you can't turn something around immediately, the clock starts immediately ticking. So it will be interesting to see if Urban Meyer can kind of, change the trajectory of some of these coaches that come in from the college rank. One guy that did it recently, I think, is Cliff Kingsbury. I think people are viewing him as a success story thus far in Arizona. So I think it is possible, but we'll see if Urban Meyer can connect with these grown men the same way he's able to connect with the college kids. I think that's another thing that'll be a little bit of an adjustment for him. But I do like Urban Meyer as a coach overall. I don't think it's the best hire so far. I would probably go with Robert Saleh as well. I think that's they knocked that out the park. Only way they could have done better to me is they brought in Eric Bieniemy because I think he was the best coaching option on the market. But my worst NFL coaching hire is the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I mean, this guy Nick Sirianni. Where did they find this guy, man? They found this guy out of a yearbook somewhere or something. I don't know. Scruff, you know I gotta lob this to you, man. Let's hear your best and worst NFL coaching hires, and please comment on this new coach that you guys brought in, Nick Sirianni. Man, I understand he's the former offensive coordinator for the Colts, but from my understanding, he never was the play caller for the Colts. So what do you think about that hire as well, man? Chime in.
All right. Well, I agree with you. I think it's the worst coaching hire out of all the coaching hires. And for a number of reasons. I'll break down why. First thing is, I've never heard of him. That's the first thing. Number two, the whole premise of hiring Sirianni was based on Carson Wentz's relationship with Frank Reich and the hopes of revitalizing Carson Wentz's career, which is tied to an enormous salary hit that we are stuck with Carson Wentz's contract regardless. So we're stuck with Carson Wentz. So what the coach was here was a strategic decision to try to bring back Carson Wentz. And that is a recipe for disaster because you don't hire a coach based on one player. You hire a coach for 53 players. That's what you do. You don't hire a coach for one player. The problem is you're building a coaching staff around a player that we don't even know if he's got his heart in the game, man. We don't even know if he can bounce back. It's questionable if he can. So you don't want to build a foundation. You don't build a house. You build a house on solid foundation. You don't build it over, the top of off the edge of a cliff, because that's what they're doing right now. Because so the worst case scenario is what happens if Carson Wentz doesn't work out? Then what do you do? Then you have a backup quarterback who I believe is actually the better quarterback and actually has the more promise between the two prospects at this point in their careers. And then you got a coach that's not even geared to make him successful when you could have done so many things with the way you could have run it. Personally, there's three choices that I would have made before this guy, probably five, but I'll go with three. Eric Bieniemy, obviously, I'm saying it's fucking ridiculous that he doesn't have a head coaching job yet. And all these dudes are just fucking skipping the line. They're about to give Josh McCown a head coaching job. He was just Eagles quarterback, third string quarterback 2 years ago, and he's about to skip the line. Eric Bieniemy would have been my first choice. Todd Bowles is another guy that I would have looked at. He is the reason why, if you look at coordinators in the Super Bowl, yes, the Bucs are in the Super Bowl. Yeah, it's Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Yes, no, it's actually Eric Bieniemy and Todd Bowles, the two best coordinators in the game. Those would have been my first two choices. And then if you want to go with a third choice, you had the best coach right there in your building. The team actually went behind him and supported him. Every player on the roster that I could think of came out and supported and said, I want Deuce Staley to be my coach. Former players, former coaches, the whole nine, the respect. You want to build the organization and you get the trust of your players when you basically lost their trust and the locker room is divided. That's what you do. You hire Deuce Staley. You don't bring in an outsider. Now Deuce Staley just had to go take a job. And now he's about to be assistant coach with the Detroit Lions on the bite your knees coaching staff, man. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like that's disrespectful. Like I know that the former player, like that was his job. That was his job to be in. I've been in that situation, Deuce. I get it. It's fucked up. It's an organization that doesn't want to see you succeed because you don't look like the guy that they want you to look like. That's what it is. Same reason Dan Campbell's the head coach, and Eric Bieniemy's not. How does that happen? But hey, I'm not a GM, not yet. But give me that. I'll make a better decision. I promise you. But best coaching hire, I gotta say is the Jets hire. I don't want to be monotonous. Because he's the first Muslim coach in the history of the NFL. I like the diversity. But the Urban Meyer hire is up there too, man. Because if you're gonna bring in a guy, I understand, Ron, what you're saying about college coaches coming to the next level. But there's never been a time more ripe to enter the league as a college coach than right now. Because the college game, the pro game has evolved almost to a level where the college game concepts are flourishing now. And now more than ever, I think Urban Meyer could come in there and do that. And then if you want to take your best shot at being an NFL head coach, you want to do it with your best, you're hoping that the cards play out for you. Hey, he said that before.
I know, man. All the nights. Appreciate you for being back with us, man.
But if you want to talk about getting the perfect hand dealt to you as a head coach, that means you get to pick your quarterback. It's like you said, Bryce, you only got 4 years, 3 years maybe to turn it around just like that. Best bet is to have the quarterback that you want. You got your first pick, man. Who do you want? You want Trevor Lawrence? You want your guy? Justin Fields? From Ohio State. It's your choice, man. Whoever you get as quarterback, riding it out, win or lose. But I like that decision, especially because he's got a good staff around him. He's not a dummy. He's not Chip Kelly.
I think the issue with the Urban Meyer, I've heard it said that like the difference between Urban Meyer and Belichick or Urban Meyer and Nick Saban is the fact that those guys eat stress for lunch, and Urban Meyer has always ended up, stressed out, unhealthy, having to leave. So I'm curious to see if the rigors of the NFL, how he'll hold up. It's more games than college. You got to manage adults now, like real men that might not necessarily have to respect you to work for you. So it's a different ball game. That's why I don't have that Urban Meyer higher as high. And that Nick Sirianni guy, I don't think that's a bad move. The first thing he said he wanted to do was look at receiver. So I know he's smart because they don't have anybody to throw the ball to out there. And on top of that, he's in my opinion, he's a nobody, right? So he's not a huge name. If it doesn't work out and you guys fire him after 1 year, who cares? So you know what I'm saying?
Oh man, so you say he got hired to get fired. So it's a good hire, but if you fire him after 1 year, who cares?
I watched the 49ers do it with Jim Tom Sula. We're just gonna grab a guy. We know the team's not good. Maybe they make something happen, but if they don't, next year's coaching staff, next year maybe that's when you do get Bowles or Bieniemy. You know what I'm saying? So it's probably not all chips in on this Nick guy. I wouldn't be surprised if Philly loses and he's out of the league. You know what I'm saying? He's in college somewhere or taking a position coach job.
All right. Well, I'll end it with this. I know my Urban Meyer is the worst coaching hire take is a little controversial, but I do think I'll be proven right over the course of time. I definitely know my stuff. And
speaking of knowing, we coming back to this clip.
Oh, we will be coming back to it. I will certainly bring it up myself.